Chris is afraid his head has been locked off from the camera, so you should send him a reassuring note. I'm Mary Karr.
I'm Christopher Robinson.
And this is Poetry Fix. A lot of people ask us to talk about Neruda, one of my favorite poets, translated from the Spanish by Robert Bly.
We love Robert Bly.
And we love Neruda too, one of the surrealist poets, one of those wacky South Americans, Chilean as it turns out. This is Walking Around by Pablo Neruda, great translation by Robert Bly. It so happens I am sick of being a man. And it happens that I walk into tailor shops and movie houses, dried up, waterproof, like a swan made of felt, steering my way in a water of wombs and ashes. The smell of barbershops makes me break into hoarse sobs. The only thing I want is to lie still like stones or wool. The only thing I want is to see no more stores, no gardens, no more goods, no spectacles, no elevators. It so happens I am sick of my feet and my nails and my hair and my shadow. It so happens I am sick of being a man. Still, it would be marvelous to terrify a law clerk with a cut lily, or to kill a nun with a blow on the ear. It would be great to go through the streets with a green knife, letting out yells until I died of the cold. I don't want to go on being a root in the dark, insecure, stretched out, shivering with sleep, going down into the moist guts of the earth, taking in and thinking, eating every day. I don't want so much misery. I don't want to go on as a root in a tomb, alone under the ground, a warehouse with corpses, half frozen, dying of grief. That's why Monday, when it sees me coming with my convict face, blazes up like gasoline, and it howls on its way like a wounded wheel, and leaves tracks full of warm blood leading toward the night. And it pushes me into certain corners, into some moist houses, into hospitals where the bones fly out the window, into shoe shops that smell like vinegar, and certain streets hideous as cracks in the skin. There are sulfur-colored birds and hideous intestines hanging over the doors of houses I hate. And there are false teeth forgotten in a coffee pot. There are mirrors that ought to have wept from shame and terror. There are umbrellas everywhere, and venom, and umbilical cords. I stroll along serenely, with my eyes, my shoes, my rage, forgetting everything. I walk by, going through office buildings, and orthopedic shops, and courtyards, and washing, hanging from the line, underwear, towels, and shirts, from which slow, dirty tears are falling. It's a great kind of rant, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just thinking that only Neruda and maybe George Carlin can get away with ranting like that.
Whitman can rant. Whitman can rant with the best.
Whitman can rant, yeah. But it's a grumbling. It's just, it almost sounds like it starts off that way, you know, a grumpy old man you don't want to listen to. And,
the smell of barbershops makes me break into hoarse sobs.
And it becomes exuberant, right? And eventually meditative, I guess. There's a real joy in it.
I like how he says, you know, it doesn't, I mean, he's saying these sentences like they make sense. It happens, I'm sick of being a man. And we all have times we're just sick of being on the planet, right? Mm-hmm. And I love, and his solution, it would be marvelous.
Yeah.
To terrify a clerk with a cut lily. I mean, you just picture this guy showing up with it, or to kill a nun with a blow on the ear. And then I don't want to go on being a root in the dark, that surreal image, shivering down into the moist bowels of the earth, shivering with sleep.
He also has no compunctions about sort of repeating himself in a way that for other poets would, I think, sound repetitive, boring, or sloppy. Here it takes on maybe an incantatory power. He repeats that same, you know, root in a tomb later, right? A root in the dark. And you just get the feel that's okay if this image is kind of recycled from two stanzas earlier.
Right. He's a rock star. Neruda is the rock star of Spanish poetry. He's, you know, he loves the world. Someone once said to me that prose writers have to create an alternate world, and poets love the world.
And he loves the world even when he's hating the world.
It's exactly.
That's the incredible paradox.
That's the secret of Neruda. This is Mary Karr.
I'm Christopher Robinson.
It's Poetry Fix.